Your dream, your life, the things you want, you're one decision away. One relationship, one meeting. One event like this, one thought, one emotion from completely changing your life. You're much closer to your dreams and your visions than you think you are.
10, 9, ignition sequence start.
All right. Hey, you guys. Let me hear you. All right. Thank you. Grab a seat. That was a cheesy-ass video. Sorry about that. Sorry. Y'all doing good? Okay, I got an hour. What do you want to do? Tell you what I want to do. Let me be really clear with you. I want this to be a life-transformative hour. I want this to change your life. So although I'm ranked like the number 1 or 5, depending on the poll, speaker in the world, I'm actually not a speaker. I'm an entrepreneur. And so when I get a chance to speak, I take it really seriously because there's things I know about you I'm going to share with you as I speak today. But even more specifically about being an entrepreneur, I really feel home at eXp because the first business I built was this exact model. So I built my initial wealth recruiting and building people and building teams. So I know a lot about what you guys do. I'm going to talk about that today. You want to hear a little bit about that? Say yes. Cool. Also, Glenn is a friend of mine and a tremendous leader. You guys are in great hands. He was telling me backstage you're really the only real estate organization that even made a profit the first quarter of this year, and we're going to make a lot bigger one the second quarter when we're done here. So you guys ready? Say yes. All right. So after the cheesy video, let me clear some things up for you for a minute, because my team always sends some version. Luckily, that was the short one. There's like a 20-minute one I could show you too, with like islands and jets and when I used to be jacked and big with my shirt off. You'd love that one. Super goofy. And so what I am not is some superstar person. And I think that's important. You know, when you see everybody up here on the stage, they're all dressed in really expensive clothes. They've all had a lot of success. I come up here with a hole in my shirt. I'm not all that expensive. But the point is, when we come up here, you could kind of start, because there's a hero-making machine that comes with building leaders, right? We make heroes of people. It's one of the best parts of your business. One of the downsides, though, is you could start thinking these people are different than you. And then if you can actually convince yourself they're different than you, then like you have an excuse not to win. So what if, at least in my case, I'm like a goofball and really average and ordinary? Would that give you a little bit of hope if you knew who I really was? Yes? Okay, here's who I really am. I'm really the son of a drug addict and an alcoholic. That's actually who I am. Who I really am, grew up very shy, very insecure, no self-confidence. Who I really am is I grew up in tremendous anxiety and dysfunction. And those things that are embedded in you as a child, you never really lose all of them. So even to this day, hundreds of millions of dollars, I got a Global Express, I've owned 6 jets, I own an island. I reach millions of people with my podcast, which, by the way, some of you still are not listening to the best podcast in the world, right? Like, I don't get it, but listen to my podcast. It will change your life. The Ed Mylett Show. But after all of that, who I really am is that's me. I'm the son of an alcoholic. And so, did any of you, by the way, grow up in any neglect or dysfunction in your upbringing? Just curious. Any of us? I got some brothers and sisters. Wow, the rest of you have like perfect families. You're just totally full of shit. So, how many of you had any neglect? Right? So, like, it could be like divorce, bankruptcy, they didn't tell you they loved you enough, all the way up to abuse, drug addict, whatever it might be. I have a very good friend of mine. How many of you have kids? Cool. This is going to hit home. Really good friend of mine. I met my wife in kindergarten. And I'm still very good friends, we both are, with another girl from our kindergarten class. Her name's Jennifer. I won't tell you her last name. And when I've had a lot of cool things happen in my life. And then my book came out, The Power of One More. It's the #1 nonfiction book in the world this year. And she says to me, man, I'm so proud of you, Eddie. You grew up with all that neglect in your home, and you've just changed your life and changed the world and blah, blah, blah. And I said, Jen, I love you and thank you. But I said, I have to be honest with you because I do love you. I think you neglect your kids. She said, what are you talking about? Brian and I have been married together for 25 years. I don't drink. I love my kids. I said, yeah, that's all the basic stuff. I said, let me explain something to you. The most insidious form of child neglect in the world, is a child who's being raised by a parent who is not in pursuit of their dreams or their potential. That's the #1 form of child neglect in the world. And the reason is because with our children and most things in leadership, it's caught, not taught. It's caught, not taught. Your kids are catching from you that it's okay to settle. You can be anything you want, sweetheart. At some age, they grow up and go, well, why aren't you, mama? When you walk in a room someday, everybody's going to know your name. Well, what's up with you, Dad? You can be anything you want. You can be happy. You know what your kids really want for you? They want you to be happy. And they know whether you're not. You can fool them a little bit. They'll still love you, but at some point your kids figure out who you, by the way, you figured out who your parents are, didn't you? They drive into school with you in the morning. They know whether you're happy. They know whether you're winning. They know whether you're go for it. They know whether you're stretching and growing. They know. And you're neglecting them if you don't go for it. The good news for you is you are very special and unique that you're a part of eXp, because what you're at least saying is, I don't want to be average and ordinary. I want to try to do something great with my life. And what we think in our life is that because we haven't succeeded before or we got something in our background, I got a divorce, you don't know I cheated here, I lied there, I'm average, I've always been invisible, we begin to disqualify ourselves and say that's why I won't win in the future. And nothing could be further from the truth. I'm going to prove that to you in a little bit. Now let me give you a spoiler alert. My dad eventually got sober and spent about 35 years of his life sober, completely changed his life. So the reason I'm even in this space where I believe human beings can change their life is I watched my hero do it. But I'm going to teach you a couple things, okay? I'm going to say something to you. I'd already written my book. I'd already had, a lot of pretty good success. And I was laying in bed about 8 months ago, and I woke up crying. My wife's not ever seen that before. She's like, what's wrong? I said, babe, something just dawned on me. I can't even believe I've never thought about this before. I said, someone helped my dad. Someone helped Daddy. She's like, what do you mean? I said, someone helped my dad. When my dad was going to lose his family, my dad was actually going to take his life. And I don't even know where it happened. In some bar, alley somewhere, some precious human being stepped forward and said, I can help you. And that person, they didn't know it in that moment, but they were doing something great with their life. They helped my father get sober. And you would say to them, they don't know that when they helped my dad, that someday I was his son. And the ripple effect of helping that one human being has reached millions of people on all the continents on the planet. Now, why is that? Here's what's crazy, because you don't understand the power of helping one more person. You still don't get it. Listen to me. What qualified that person to help my dad? What were their qualifications? Do you know? Here's what's crazy. The very things that they would think disqualified them from ever doing anything great with their life. You know what qualified that person to help my dad? They were also a drug addict at one time. They were also a liar, living in the shadows, stealing, drinking, hanging out, cheating. The very things they thought would disqualify them from ever doing anything great qualified them in that moment to step forward and help my father, because in life you are most qualified to help the person or people you used to be. And that's the power of your recruiting model. That's the power of eXp if you get it. Put your phone down. Put your phone down. There's a guy worth $800 million talking. You are most qualified to help the person you used to be. That's the power of this model. If you used to be broke and you no longer are quite as broke, you can help broke people. If you used to not have confidence in yourself and you got a little now, you can give it to people who don't have it. You used to not have a dream or believe you could do something, and you do now, you can help people who need dreams. Listen to me. We need leaders with vision to help people with dreams. And you're that person. And you would think, not me, I'm shy, I'm broke, you don't know. Listen to me. That's the very thing that qualifies you. Let me tell you what you don't know about recruiting people here. This is the belief system. You ready? Everybody wants in. They just don't know it yet. If they felt what you feel in this room, if they knew about the recognition, the travel, the awards, the helping of one another, they'd want all of that. They just don't know it yet. So when they're smirking at you, you know that smirk when you're trying to recruit somebody. You know what I'm talking about. You smirk your ass right back at them. You let them know. In your gut, you know, you want in. You want everything. You want all the goodies we got here. You just don't know it yet. That's a fact. And you are one recruit away. You are one recruit away from completely changing your life. Trust me, I know. I've got about 10 of them in my whole life. And those 10 recruits separated me from being broke to being worth millions of dollars. You're looking for 7 to 10 key leaders in your business. Yeah, I know the model. Now, that's going to lead to hundreds and thousands of other people, but you're really looking for 7 to 10 key players. You can't find 7 to 10 key players the next 10 years, something's wrong with you. So this is not a matter of whether you will win here. It's a matter of when, if you stay. Okay? So the power of helping one more person. Here's what's funny. Let me just prove to you one last time, Mr. 800 million, what a goober I am. So I'm in the business of recruiting and building people. And I'm struggling. In fact, I actually made a little bit of money for a while, but I ended up going broke. And so broke that I got married to my high school sweetheart, who was my kindergarten crush. And she literally grew up down the street from me. And I had all these dreams when we were kids. I'd walk her on the beach and say, babe, we're gonna get one of these beach houses someday. In high school, you know, I'd tell her all these dreams. She'd, we are? I said, yeah, man, we're gonna have this amazing life, and not gonna be like your mom and dad and my mom and dad. Something awesome is gonna happen with us. And then we got married and reality set in. And about 6 months after us getting married, we had our power turned off. Because I was doing this. And you know, it can be some lean times when you're recruiting and selling on commission. And then her car got repoed. And then my car got repoed. And that was all bad, but then the power got turned off. Now, that's bad. Then the water got turned off. You don't want your water turned off. Let me tell you what happens. You can't bathe. You can't cook. And so for about a month and a half, every morning I would get up with my new bride, and we lived in an apartment complex. You can picture an apartment, you know, they got that swimming pool, that one shower. There was an outdoor shower there, and we would get up every morning and grab our toothbrush and soap and shampoo, and I would walk down with this girl who I'd told we were gonna live on the beach someday, and I would hold a towel up while she took a shower outside and brushed her teeth. And then we would switch. She'd hold the towel up, and I would. Our neighbors all knew what was going on, and I would walk up the stairs of our apartment completely ashamed. What I was doing was I was living a nightmare and going out every day selling the dream. Some of you really relate to what I'm talking about right now. How's everything going? I remember going, unbelievable. When I'd recruit, how are you doing? Like you literally wouldn't believe it. I wasn't lying. And then I made a little bit of money. And I told her, I said, here's why people aren't buying from me. Let me tell you what happened. I drove to LA, I'll never forget this. I ran out of money, and I had to get $20 to go to the ATM to get gas to get back home after this appointment I was gonna have. And I was praying literally, Lord, please let there be at least $22 in there, because if there's less than 20 in my account, it won't spit out any money because it only spits out 20s. And there was 17 bucks in there. So I couldn't get any money out of the bank. So before my appointment, this is a true story, just to give you a little bit of hope. Before my appointment, there's a McDonald's here and a Chevron here. And I spent 30 minutes at that Chevron begging for money for gas. No one would help me. I went over to the McDonald's, and I literally walked in the drive-through line with people in their cars, and I got a man to give me $10. And I told him, give me your contact information, sir, I'll send it back to you. And I did. I got in my car. Back then, I don't know anybody old in here enough to remember, but I drove a Honda CRX. Anybody remember Honda CRXs? Oh, we got some people in here. Let's go, some old people. Cool. So I rolled up. My Honda CRX was a hoopty, so what I would do on all my appointments is I would park a block away and then walk to their house so they wouldn't see that I was broke, how unbelievable I was doing. And so I parked my car a block away. I went in, I gave my presentation, blah, 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 blah. When I was done, they go, this was great, let us think about it, which was code for, no, please get out of our house. So I get out of the house, and I'm walking down the block, and I got to turn to the right side to go where my car is on the other block, and I see the glass on the sidewalk. Back in those days, everybody was stealing car stereos. If you had like a Alpine or a, what was the other one? Kenwood. Now I know there's some old people in here. Alpine or Kenwoods, they jack your car stereo back in the day. But I remember walking, I had like 100 yards to go. I'm like, well, this is weird. I got a Sanyo. Nobody wants my Sanyo. And I get up there and they didn't take my stereo. You know what they took? My passenger seat. They stole my passenger seat. You have to be really down on your luck to have your water turned off and someone pursues your passenger seat out of your car. You gotta be a very specific criminal to be in the market. I'm on the hunt tonight for a passenger seat of a Honda CRX. And my dumbass with no water, just begged for money at the gas station, rolled up with exactly what they were looking for. The next 4 months on recruiting training appointments, literally, if you were my recruit, you rolled in my Honda and you sat on a rock I grabbed out of the landscaping of my apartment complex. That was your seat. And I would literally say to you, hey man, fasten your seatbelt. That's the truth. I haven't told that in a long time. And then I made like $6,000. I saved $6,000. I said, babe, the reason I'm failing, no one thinks I'm successful. I need a Mercedes. If I were broing in a Mercedes, you know, some of you believe this BS too. Man, once I start making money, then I'll recruit. That ain't how it works. You got to recruit to make money. So I'm like, all right. So I went and looked in the penny saver. I clicked, guys, back there. I don't know if y'all can feel my clicker, but I'm clicking up here. Here we go. I'm clicking, but it ain't clicking with me. I don't think your clicker works, everybody. In fact, I now definitively know it doesn't. So if you got another clicker, bring it to me. Anyway, so I look in the penny saver, and all the Mercedes like 60 grand, 60 grand, 60 grand, 60 grand. I find this one that's 6,500 bucks. It says Mercedes-Benz SL, kinda. True story. In parentheses. I'm like, that might be my speed. Read a little bit longer. It's a Mercedes. It's not a Mercedes. It's actually a Chrysler LeBaron kit car with a Mercedes-Benz body. Anybody even know what a kit car is? You're a well-adjusted human being if you don't know. I do know. And what a kit car is ain't a real one. This is a Chrysler LeBaron, and they weld the body of a Mercedes onto it, so you got a fake Mercedes. That's what this was. But beggars can't be choosers, so I decide, by the way, this sucker had a stereo, top of the line, Jensen 7-inch motorized touchscreen on the head unit there, MB quart for the front speakers. Got infinities in the rear. So I drive down to this lady's place. She's got this car there. I'm pretty sure there was some methamphetamine, thank you, involved in her universe at the time based on what was going on there. And I said, tell me about the car. She goes, look, I'm just going to shoot straight with you. You can fool about 50% of the people. I said, why? She goes, well, it's 2 feet longer than a real Mercedes, so people that really know the cars are going to laugh their ass off at you. And she goes, and when I say laugh, I mean like almost fall out of their own car laugh, pointing at you. The other little glitch is the real one doesn't have a back seat. This has a back seat. Oh, also the heater blows full time when it's August, so that's going to be an issue for you too. I go, anything else? She goes, nah, that's probably about it. She goes, by the way, you seem very persuasive. You might be able to persuade 70% of the people. I said, all right, I'll take it. I'll give you 5. She goes, give me 6. I got 5,500. She goes, deal. Oh, she says, this is the power of one more. She goes, oh, by the way, one more thing. I go, what? What else could there be? She goes, well, you know how like a regular kit car? I go, no, I don't know what a regular kit car is. She goes, well, a regular kit car, like the body's welded on to the LeBaron. This one's not welded on there. I said, well, how's it on there? She goes, Velcro. I go, what did you take your hand? I literally said to her this. I said, ma'am, please remove your hand from your methamphetamine-infested grill right now. Okay? What did you say? She said, it's Velcroed on there. I said, wait a minute. So what you're telling me is I have purchased a fake Mercedes Velcroed together with the heater blowing vehicle from you. She says, yes, honey, you have. And she goes, oh, by the way, one other thing. when you pull up to a stoplight, don't give yourself enough leeway where you don't brake fast. Because if you brake fast, the front left headlight, the Velcro's loose, it'll fly out into the intersection. True story. Hey, Forbes magazine named me the most fastest growing man in the history of social media 3 years ago. Let me just tell you something. If there were cell phones and social media back in the day, I would have been 3 billion times more viral. Because let me tell you why. Number one, I was driving a Velcroed fake Mercedes. But better than that, more than 100 times in Mr. 800 million's life over here, I have rolled up to the intersection too quickly. Whoop! Headlight out into the intersection. More than 100 times, just to give you hope, I have run out into an intersection and stopped four-way traffic. In my Men's Warehouse suit and my JCPenney shoes, and I have picked up my own. Imagine you pull up to a light just minding your own business, and you watch this headlight fly out into the intersection. And then some dude gets out of his car, runs into the intersection, stops the traffic, picks up his own freaking headlight with Velcro on it, runs back to his car, sticks it on there, and then jumps back in his car again. You imagine how viral that would be? By the way, about 25 or 30 of those times, I shut the door too hard and it fell off. And then I'd have to get out of my car and Velcro it back onto my car. True story. So, what's my point? By the way, just for fun, which one's my car? Is my car the silver one? Say aye. Or is my car the blue one? Say aye. Blue's mine, huh? Wrong. How do you know? Look at the front left headlight. See the gap for the Velcro? You can look at it right now. Bam, that's my car. I drove that car for 5 years. The third year I drove it, I made $770,000. Oh. The fourth year it got stolen, and the criminal went 5 houses down from me, figured out what it was, got out of the car, left the keys in it, and rolled on. In the fifth year, I sold that car to a dude on my team for $7,000. His name's Rob Day. It's a true damn story. And he's worth about $100 million now himself. How about that? So, why do I tell you all that? I ain't no superstar. Hope I gave you some hope. You got a little hope right now? Say yes. So, what the heck did I do? Let's talk about it for a minute. First things first is I made one decision. I don't want to live life on a merry-go-round. Most of the people that are giving you crap about doing this, that don't get why you're doing it, they chose to live their whole life on a merry-go-round. Just see the same stuff, slowly but surely, every day of their damn life. Same people, same places, same things, same thoughts, same everything. You've decided by doing this you don't want to live your life on a merry-go-round. Let me tell you what you're going for. Excuse me, go back. You're going for this. You're going for, hopefully this will go. Let's see if you can play that. Nope, it doesn't. You're going for, it should, play that, guys. Click play. There we go. You've decided, just so you know, you're living on the roller coaster. It's going to go up, woo, and then you get to the butterflies coming back, up and down, fast. And when you watch someone get off a merry-go-round, like, yeah, that was great, let's do it again. Watch someone get off a roller coaster, yeah, baby! That's the life you've chosen. But it's going to go like this. I'm 52 years old. I'm still on the roller coaster. 9 weeks ago, I had a heart attack backstage before I spoke. 9 weeks ago. Unexpected things are going to happen to you in your life, right? But guess what? I'm here today. I've lost 30 pounds. I got to lose a little bit of muscle, but I've done it. Here's what I've developed in my life. Let me tell you what I've developed in my life that's worked for me. I've got 2 skills that I've made the money with and the influence. I want you to hear this. Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich that if you can survive the temporary, on the other side of temporary pain, you meet another version of yourself. If you can survive temporary pain, on the other side of temporary pain, you get to meet another version of yourself. It's a pretty powerful thing. I only have 2 talents. I'm not particularly smart. I'm not. I'm well-read, but I'm not particularly bright. I don't think I'm wired with a whole lot of self-confidence, maybe even to this day. Yet I coach some of the top human beings in sports, entertainment, politics. I'm one of them. How'd that happen? I got 2 talents. Want to know what they are and how I got them? You curious? Let me tell you how I got them first. Let me tell you what they are. I love people. And I'm really present with human beings when I'm with them. And they feel something. I read them well. That's why I'm telling you, that's why my podcast is different. You can see someone get interviewed on one show and on mine, it's totally different. Matthew McConaughey said, man, hey man, I've been interviewed 3,000 times in my life. This is the best interview of my life. Just happened. I have a presence with people and a love for humans, and I read them real well. There's an energy you'd feel if you were with me. You'd probably feel like you're the most important person in the world, because I think you are. I want to remind you something about you, just so you know. No one's told you in a while. You were born to do something great with your life. Like, just listen to me. You were born to do something great with your life. And you may not know it when you're doing it, just like that guy that helped my dad get sober. He didn't know it at the time, but he was. I'm good with people. Second thing, I'm a good communicator. Those are my 2 skills. That's it. That's it. Let me tell you what they come from. Did I mention I was the son of an alcoholic and a drug addict? Comes from that. I have a mom and 3 sisters, and when my dad would go on these drinking binges, he would say, hey, when I'm 5, you're the man of the house, boy. You take care of your mom, your sisters when I'm gone. I would literally sleep on the inside of our house, blocking the front door so the bad guys couldn't get in. The Bible talks about the sins of the father. When my son Max was born, he grew up in a loving, beautiful home with an unbelievable mom and a decent dad in me. And when he was 3 years old, I found him sleeping in front of our front door. It's caught, not taught. It's in your DNA, it's in your legacy. Whether you're happy, whether you win, whether you're prosperous. So when my dad would come back, I would have to read my dad when he would come through the front door. I had to read his physiology, his language, his tie-tied. I didn't know whether he was drunk. Because if he was drunk, I would say, Mama, go upstairs and take a bath and take Mimi and Andrea and Erica with you. And I would be left downstairs with this man. I will never talk about what would happen when I was left down there with him. Never will. But I would have to read him. So I became unbelievably present with people in that moment. Little did I know God was giving me the gift of that terror and anxiety and worry that he was developing in this little boy, the greatest gift he would use in his life to reach millions of other human beings. On the other side of that temporary pain, as a grown man, I would use that skill to change lives and to make lots of money. The second thing that would happen is if my dad was drinking, Mama would go upstairs. And if he was sober, we would just have dinner. But most of the time, if he was drinking, I would have to then talk to him and change his state and his physiology. I say, Daddy, yeah. My whole goal was for him not to get to the liquor cabinet. Because if he went to the liquor cabinet, even though he was already drunk, my dad would have 8 Beefeater gins back to back. Well, I thought every dad did that. In fact, in baseball, I wore number 8 my entire career because of that. I was familiar with 8. I see 8s everywhere because of that. So if he was, I had to try to get him away from there. And so I would tell him, hey, Daddy, yeah, how was your day? That's all right. I'd say, well, I hit a home run in baseball, and I hit a triple to left center. I got a 93 on my spelling test. You did? Yeah. Where'd you hit the triple? I was left center, and I slid in head first. Jimmy's tag was late. It was? That's awesome. So did you have any good meetings, Daddy? And I would get him over to the couch. He goes, well, one of them was. And if I could get him there for an hour or so, he'd sober up, and nothing bad would happen. And I could have Mama and my sisters come back downstairs. Those 2 skills, that surviving that temporary pain. See, all pain is temporary. Everything in our life is temporary, with the exception of our souls. Even our bodies are temporary. I was with my father when he passed away. I was holding him in my arms 2 years ago. And I watched my dad leave, even though his body was still there. It's all pain's temporary. If you can survive it, and you can know that, on the other side of every pain you go through, you will develop new versions of you. This market's not real good, is it? Some of you will quit because of it. Some of you won't recruit. Some of you will make excuses. Some of you will go, nope, I'm gaining market share right now. I'm going to cash all the checks in 2 years when things turn around. Because on the other side of this temporary pain, you'll meet something. I've developed the ability to...
What would be a...
Well, I'll go back. Sorry. I can't get to my slides, guys. There we go. Here's what I've developed in my life. I've developed responsibility. Responsibility doesn't mean that, hey, it's your fault, it's my fault, none of that stuff. Responsibility means this, that you intuitively understand that you have an ability to respond to what life gives you. An ability to respond. It's the more human you are, the more alive you are, the more you have an ability to respond to adversity, to difficult times in your life. Let me give you an example. By the way, one of the things I worry about in our culture is both political parties are constantly telling you, your shitty life isn't your fault. You're a victim. It's someone else's fault. It's those guys. It's the ones coming across the border. No, it's the white guy. No, it's the Democrat. No, it's the Republican. They're constantly telling us we have no responsibility over our lives, no matter what party you're a part of, and I'm not political at all. I can just tell you straight up, all of that does not serve humanity. It strips people of their humanity. It strips people of having a chance to do something great with their life. So listen to me. Listen to me. You take a person here, and if I shook them and they didn't respond, you go, wait a minute, what's wrong? When I poured water on them and they didn't respond, and then I gave them a defibrillator and they didn't respond, your conclusion would be they are what? Dead. So to the extent that you can respond is the extent that you're alive. And what I've done in my life is I've decided and developed the knowledge that I have an ability to respond and that there's always a way. There's always a choice. No matter how bleak, how dark, how bad, how horrible it seems, there is a way out. There's always an option. God will always give you a door out if you're looking for it. You've got an ability to respond. Say amen to that. Yes. How do I know? How do I know? Let me just tell you something. I'm walking on the beach with my wife at that time, back in the day. And I remember coming back to the house. My dad was sober then. And by the way, only my dad, this is hilarious. My dad got sober on 4/20. Dead serious. Only my old man's sobriety birthday, and we never celebrated his real birthday, April 11th, ever again. Every year we celebrated on 4/20. But I was walking on the beach, and I came back. I said, hey, Dad, I want to live. I keep telling Christiana, I'm going to get her one of these beach houses. Who are these people that live on the end of the earth? How do you get there? That's how stupid I am. It's not the end of the earth. It's the end of the continent, but whatever, right? My dad said, I don't know. I've never met anyone who lives there. I don't know. They probably had to screw some people to get there, though, which I found not to be true. And I finally figured it out. Listen to me. When you find a family that's rich or happy, some point back in their lineage, some point, they weren't. Let me say it to you again. You find a happy family, some point back generationally, they weren't. You find a rich family, some point back in their lineage, they weren't. Until the one shows up. Until the one. In every family, there's one. There's one person that shows up and goes, no, it stops with me. I'm going to change my family tree forever. My mom and dad aren't going to live like that. The world's not going to have their... In my family, in the Mylett family, I'm the freaking one. I got up early. I took all the no's. I'm the one begging for money at the gas station. I'm the one who took the hits. I'm the one who went to all the meetings when everyone said I was crazy. I'm the one who kept believing. I'm the one. And you know what? It's never who you think it is. No one in my family would have picked little Eddie to be the one. None of my friends in high school would have thought I'd be. Ask anybody I went to high school with. There's nothing in me ever that would make you think that. But the Mylett family, forever, we think different. The world doesn't have their thumb on the Myletts anymore, man. We go where we want. We call the shots. You got to be the one in your family. Listen to me. You got to be the one. And most of us that are the one never thought we were. Never believed we were. But I loved my family so much. I don't want the world to put pressure on my mom anymore. My mom's had enough stress in her life being married to my dad all those years. I don't want my children to worry like I worried. When I'm gone someday, I don't want my great-great-grandchildren to ever have to deal with what I did. I want them to someday go, who's that a portrait of, great-grandma? That's your great-grandpa, Eddie, and Christiana. They changed our family forever. That's what I want for you. In fact, there's actually a term for it. There's a doctor named Dr. Broderick. Here's what she calls the one. A transitional character. A transitional character is one who in a single generation changes the entire course of a lineage. The changes might be for good or ill, but the most noteworthy examples are those individuals who grew up in an abusive, emotionally destructive, or poor environment and who somehow find a way to metabolize the poison and refuse to pass it on to their children. They break the mold. They refute the observation that abused children become abusive parents, that the children of alcoholics have to become alcoholics, that poor children become poor adults, Their contribution to humanity is to filter out the destructiveness out of their own lineage so that the generations downstream will have a supportive foundation upon which to build productive lives. That's you, baby. That's you. If you stay long enough, that's you. And you happen to be in a company that gives you that opportunity. Now, there's going to be some stuff happening to you. Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have haters. You're going to have critics. You ever heard the term on social media? Everybody always says, hey, you'll never catch criticism from someone doing better than you. You ever hear that? Let me tell you something. That's a lie. You're going to catch criticism from people at every level. In fact, your mentors and even some of your uplines, they'll be really excited for you until you start doing better than them or starting to threaten their success. You ever heard of a guy named Tiger Woods? I'm going to show you a video right now. Tiger Woods at his first professional golf tournament. This is a clip none of you ever seen before. He's being interviewed by a guy named Curtis Strange. Curtis Strange, I like Curtis. I know Curtis. He's actually a broadcaster for CBS right now. He's a really great player. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's won 2 majors. Won the US Open twice. Really good player. But this cocky kid who he thought was cocky wants to now play professional golf. He gets to interview him at his first tournament. And you know what he does? He tries to steal his dream. Number 1. You have anybody try to steal your dream? Number 2, you know what he tries to do? Get him to be realistic. You have anybody trying to get you to be realistic? Yeah. But the thing is, makes fun of him and mocks him like he's got an ego, like who are you to want to do so well? What's wrong with where we already are? You got anybody that going in your life? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Tiger Woods is the one in his family. Okay? Watch this interview. It's a minute and a half. You're not going to believe that you've never seen this before.
What would be a successful week here in Milwaukee?
Two things. I think if I play 4 solid rounds, we'll go off to a good start today. If I can do that for 3 more days, I'll be very happy, and a victory would be awfully nice too.
A victory.
Mm.
Do you think, to me, that comes off as a little cocky or brash, especially talking to the other guys on tour that have been out here for years and years and years, and certainly an incredible amateur record. But what do you say to those guys?
Well,
when you come out here, you know what I'm saying, your first
understand.
pro tournament, you say, I can win.
Oh, I understand that. I've always figured that why go to a tournament if you're not going there to try and win? There's really no point in even going. That's the attitude I've had my entire life, and that's the attitude I will always have. As I would explain to my dad, second sucks, and third's even worse. That's just a feeling
But on tour, that's not too bad sometimes, though.
That's not too bad, but I want to win. That's just my nature.
You'll learn.
How about that? How about that? You'll learn. You got someone in your family just like that mother right there. Yeah, they learned, didn't they? About 20 years of the biggest learning experience all of them ever had in their damn life. Got their asses slapped around, right? Right? That's what you got to do. So I see this video and it changed my life. I'm going to tell you 2 stories that I think are going to affect you that you'll remember forever, and then I'll be done. Number 1, my son. This is my son, whom I love. I don't have time to cover that. We'll click through it. Oh, you know what? Let me give you a gift. I'll scan that real quick. There's no upsell. If you scan that, I'm going to send you how I manage my entire day and my time. It's something that I charge $5,000 for. It's completely free if you scan that. Is it up on the screen? There it is. There we go. Scan that sucker. Okay? You go there. There's no upsell. I'm not going to give you something free and then send you an email saying, buy my course. I don't have a course. Just do that. If you miss the scan, go to edmylett.com, put your email in there, and we'll send it to you. It's my gift because I love this company. I think Glenn's a wonderful dude. And by the way, I just want to see you change people's lives. I want you to do for human beings what that guy did for my dad and what I've done for lots of people. So this is my son, whom I love. I only have one son. His name's Maximus. I love him, but I'm going to share some things with you that would embarrass him. He's the most uncoordinated human being I've ever met in my life. To this day, if you put a gun to my head or his mama and said, is Maximus left or right-handed? And he's 21 years old. We probably should have figured it out by now. I have no idea whether he's a lefty or a righty. Let me tell you why. In baseball, if I put a glove on his left hand, he would still wear a fly ball right in his face. Bam! We'd switch the next year to the other hand. Bam! He struck out 64 times left-handed when he was 9, 63 times right-handed. In flag football, any of you that have kids that play flag football, my son was the blocker. You know what that means. Don't give that kid the ball. Okay? Basketball, played a whole season of basketball. Actually, 3 seasons. He scored 2 points in 3 seasons. And here's the one that he scored. He went up to grab a rebound, missed it, turned to run back the other way. The ball bounced off his head, went back into the basket, and he runs down the court like freaking Jackie Moon or something, like he had scored. Played golf, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. In fact, for a long time, in the same golf bag, he would have some left-handed clubs and some right-handed clubs. And it just dawns on me as I look at this picture, look how he's standing. That you know anybody with any coordination who stands like this for a photograph. What is he doing? So we finally settled on golf, and we moved to the desert. So I want you to picture this. And you can see in that picture right there, I was probably dabbling in a little bit of creatine at the time. Let's just call it creatine. And and that's very little creatine, quite frankly. There's some other photos I could show you where there's a lot of creatine. Anyway, I'm transparent as anybody you'll ever hear speak. So we decided to settle on golf. Well, where we moved, it was all professional golfers and their sons. So here's what you got out there. You got Mr. Creatine. I'd mainly wear a tank top. I got tattoos. I'm jacked. My son's wearing ragamuffin golf clothes with used golf clubs, and we're playing against Joe Blow and his son. They got matching Ricky Fowler outfits. The dad's won on the PGA Tour. The kid's got 3 golf instructors, a fitness guy, a massage therapist, a chef. Max has me. So we played for 3 years on this tour, about every single Saturday. And I did this because you could caddy for your son, and I'm busy, so it was 5 hours with my precious son. We finished last in every tournament for 3 years. When I say last, I mean last by a mile. This is a true story. If you don't believe it, my son tells it on my podcast. And so we had finished last every year. And by the way, it got to the point where we didn't even try to win. I would literally tell Maximus, hey, Max, you know, Dad, when you get out of the car to warm up, I say, you know, Daddy won't love you anymore if you win today. And I won't love you any less if you lose. He goes, I know, Daddy, and he would kiss me and go out to the course. When he would get home, his mom would never ask him, what did you score? It was always, did you have fun? Max goes, man, Daddy and I had so much fun. We talked about birds, and we talked about grass, and what I'm doing at school. And he's such a sweet boy. He'd tee off and top one right in the lake. Okay, hey, Dad, we're having fun. I'm like, yeah, Max, we're having freaking fun, right? And the other kid would like bomb one. Good shot, Jacob! And they're just looking. I'm like, you know the object here, right? So we played for 3 years. We're halfway through the 4th year. This particular day, our life changed, and your life could change right now. Let me tell you what happens. By the way, well, I'll tell you what happens. We played 9 holes. Max is 11 back. He's in last place by 11 shots. And we're way behind because Max is playing so bad. And so at this tour, when you make the turn at 9, you grab a sandwich and a drink, and you keep going. The kids keep playing. Well, that day, the sandwiches were over there, and I'm not exaggerating. The next tee box is over there, and we were behind. And a life-changing moment happened. One of the dads who has won on the PGA Tour, and his dad has won on the PGA Tour, says this. He goes, hey, the other 2 boys, hey, guys, you guys go get over there and hit your tee shots. Max, he'll go grab your lunch. He's out of it, and he doesn't give a crap. And I watched my son shoulders hunch over like they normally do and start to walk. I said, stop. I'll give you the clean version because I think there's some Christian folks in here, okay? I said, stop. I said, what the fuck did you just say to my son? Don't you ever speak to my family like that. Ever. You understand me? Ever. Oh. I said, listen to me. Here's what we're going to do. You guys go get your tee shot. Max, you stay with me for a second. We'll be right over there, and I'll grab the food. I said, Maximus, come here. He goes, yeah, hey, yeah, Dad, yeah, we're having fun. I go, come here. Come here. Come here. And I grab him. I go, listen to me. We're going to fucking win today, Max. We're winning! But Dad, what about, we're having fun. I go, listen to me. Winning is more fun than fun is fun. Max, winning is more fun than actual fun is fun. Dad, I go, this shirt sucks. You got another shirt? I'm trying to do a change of state. He had a gray shirt on. I go, he goes, I got a blue one. I go, give me that, take that shirt off. I go, here's your blue shirt. Max, this is the winning shirt. And I start anchoring and triggering that we're going to win in him. I said, we're going to win, Max. We're going to win. We're going to win. He goes, okay. I go, listen to me. We've never done this before. You take no practice swings. We're not dicking around here. And I will tell you what club to hit, and you will hit it because you've got a great swing and you're a great player. My son would hit balls 2 hours before school every day and into the dark every day. And watch this, by the way. My son didn't have a bad golf swing. That was him warming up that day. He goes, okay, Daddy. I said, hit the driver, go get it. He walks away, and I watch my precious boy, shoulders hunched over, like he always walked, and I'm walking to get the sandwich. I'm like, God damn it, what did I do? Possible assault. I've scared the hell out of Max. We're definitely losing again. And I remember watching my son walk up, and he's so uncoordinated. You know, normal player just tees the ball up. My son would have to get down on his knee, like, tee the thing up. Jesus, Max. God. But he hits it right down the middle. And I'm walking. I get up there. I go, hey, how'd that feel? He goes, okay, Daddy. I go, great shot. Great shot. We're walking. I'm grabbing. I'm anchoring. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Okay, Dad. We're going to win. We get up there. I go, you got 120, Max. Hit an 8-iron. Hit this sucker 10 feet left of the hole. Let's go. I've never talked to him like that before. He hits it about 20 feet left of the hole. I go, good shot. He goes, thanks. He hands me the club back. We walk up to the green. And he's getting ready to putt. I go, Max, line the putt up. Because my son would just putt. I said, line the putt up. See how the other boys walk around and read? No, I don't know how the putt breaks. I don't know. My son, but now he's doing this BS make pretend reading of the putt. He's doing this. He goes, I think it's 2 feet left to right, Dad. I go, that's exactly what I see, son. Do that. Takes it back. Dunkaroonie for a birdie. Yeah, Maximus! Yeah! The other boy's bogey. And he kind of twirls the club back at me like this. I go, how'd that feel? He goes, that felt pretty good, Dad. Pretty good. All right, I go, hey, we're down 9, man. Let's go. Now he's kind of walking like this to the next tee box. I'm like, hey, you're walking like your old man now. All right, Max, par 5, smash that driver. No practice swing. Okay, Daddy. Smashes it down the middle, actually further than the other 2 boys. We get up, it's a par 5, there's a lake in front, the other 2 boys lay up because they should. We're down 9, we got no choice. I go, Max, you got 220 the hole, smash that 3. He goes, duh. I go, don't hit it. Now, just so you know, my son has never hit a 3-wood at that point in his life, 220 yards ever. So like any really good story, there's a little Jesus involved. There just has to be. Just has to be. So, I said, I immediately started praying. Lord, if this thing lands on the green, I will stop immediately 23% of all the bad crap I do. Like right in this moment, I'll never do them again. Literally never do it again. And if it lands on the green, I'll mention you in every talk I ever give the rest of my life. So my son hits this thing whoosh, in the air. Now it's in the air. Whoosh. And I'm going back to my Catholic days, man. I'm like, Hail Mary, full of grace, our Father, sign of the cross, whatever I got, dude. And it hits the wall in front of the green. And bounces straight up in the air. And lands on the green. And rolls to about 2 inches from the hole. Max goes, here you go, Dad. I go, nice shot, baby. Woo! And the other boys lay up. So here we go. Max squats up, taps in for an eagle. I go, how'd that feel? He goes, Dad, really good. I go, now we're total conversation. Now he's walking to the next tee box. Hey guys, I'm playing Callaway. What are you guys playing? You guys like Titleist? Like, what's the deal? Like, think I'm gonna get some foot joys? I'm not real sure. You know, I think the wind's blowing a little bit. It might actually, you know, he's totally talking like he knows what he's doing now. So we're down 7 shots now. Fast forward to 18th hole. We're down 1. Numbnuts, who made the comment, dipshit over there, and his son are in first. I go, let's go, Max. Let's win this thing. What I tell my son not to do, don't take a practice swing. It's about 100 degrees. My son takes a practice swing. Most important shot of my uncoordinated son's life, let me tell you what he does. Takes a practice swing, club slips right out of his hands, helicopters into the middle of the lake. Yeah, true story. You don't believe me? He tells it on the podcast. Most important shot of our life, my son throws the weapon he's going to use into the water before he can use it. Dead story. True story. Dead serious. I go, all right, Max. Power on one more club. Here, hit the 3-wood. My son hits the 3-wood down the middle. All right, there's a lake in front of the green, and I hear Numbnuts tell his son, hey, I won't say the kid's name. Hey, don't hit it in the lake. I go, Max, get over here. Hurry up. He's going to hit it in the lake. You never tell someone what not to do, man. Sure enough, he hits it in the lake. I go, Max, you got 122, hit this 8-iron, 10 feet left of the hole. Let's get the F out of here with a W, buddy. We have never talked like it's the same boy, I love you, whether you all that bull crap, right? Yeah. Which isn't bull crap, but you know what I mean. And he hits it about 10 feet left of the hole. This little boy's so good, he holes out from the other side of the lake. So here's the deal. Max makes the putt, we win. He 2 putts, we go to a playoff. He 3 putts, we lose. He goes into his little BS walk around the putt to read it. And my stupid butt, Mr. Motivational Mindset, I go, hey, Max, it's a little downhill. Don't run it too far past the hole. My son, who never cared once, goes, Daddy, I'm going to make it. We're going to win. I almost cry right now telling you this. I go, well, then make it, man. Let's go. Because I got it. And he gets over that putt, and our life changed. Takes that, I'm shaking. Look at this. He takes that putter back, dunks it. Yes, Maximus! I'm carrying him around the green. Woo-hoo! How's that feel, buddy? Dad, this is awesome. Winning is way more fun than fun is fun. I'll prove it to you. Watch this face. Look at his little face. That's him after the win right there. Right? There's his blue shirt. Now, I still got to point out, still uncoordinated. You ain't ever seen LeBron James with an NBA title going afterwards, but he did it. He went on to win 22 straight tournaments. Same swing, different mindset. That day he shot 64, and I'm on a lot of creatine in that baby right there. 64. Then he finished 3rd, and then he won 16 more. This is me and him playing golf in Cabo last year. He ended up growing quite a bit, and probably should do a DNA check. His feet are still completely crooked in the picture, by the way. Look at his feet. Still does it. After this picture, he lost 80 pounds because that's his college golf scholarship being signed. This week, my son played in the national championship and made a hole-in-one in the national championship yesterday. I should probably show you the video. So, I tell you all this because he was the same swing, the same person, but totally shifted his mindset into winning. Too many of you here are playing with this. You're a fan. You're messing with it. You're casual. And until you decide you're going to win, nothing's going to change. And you don't have to be loud or yelling like I am. In fact, for me, at most events like this, I didn't say a whole lot. I just kind of went, yep, yeah. Now I'm serious. And I planted my flag. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to make this happen. This is where I do it or I don't do it. This is my place. These are my people. And that's what's got to happen for you here today. You got to decide you want to win. When you make, and by the way, it's all kinds of people win here. But you got to make that decision. Because when you make a decision, your life changes. You're one decision away from completely changing your life. One new recruit, one new relationship, one new thought, one speaker away from totally changing your life. Here's how I know it. This is my dad. I got to tell you this quickly. This is my dad and me. Goofiest picture ever. No idea why my team picked this. That's my dad and I. My dad's my favorite human being that's ever been here. Because he changed. See, if you really want to impress people, tell them how perfect you are. That's what most speakers would have come out here and done. But if you want to connect with people and you want to do this in recruiting, reveal to them your imperfections. Too many of you are trying to recruit like, we're making big money. You know what you can say? You know what? I'm struggling myself, but I'm going to get this going. I have insecurities myself. I don't know everything, but I'll get you the answers. I'll tell you the truth. We'll root for you. We'll believe in you. Show them your imperfections when you recruit people. You will connect with them more deeply. Tell them where you come from. Tell them what your fears are. Tell them your anxieties. I promise you I'm right. This is my dad and I at my sister's wedding, just to prove at one time we were both good-looking men. This is my dad, my papa, and me. I'm Edward Michael Joseph Mylett III. Papa there in the middle is Edward I. I want you to take note first of what my dad's wearing, which is his patented white golf shirt and glasses. My dad had no money. My dad played golf on my dime. Papa, on the other hand, was the man who believed in me when I was young. Did you have anybody when you were really young make you feel special, like you were the special one? Picture their face right now. A teacher, your mama, your daddy, a grandma, a coach. Prove them right, because they were right. If they've passed away, honor them with who you become. A week after this picture, Papa died. The last picture I ever took with him. Papa has a 4th grade education. You wouldn't be impressed with that. Let me tell you why he has a 4th grade education. This is where I come from. His dad died when he was in the 4th grade. You know how his dad died? In a gutter in South Boston in front of a bar. He drowned, drunk, passed out. That's what I come from. I went from that to here. You can go from where you are to anywhere you want to go. Papa, by the way, stormed the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. He's a stud. I remember when this happened, thinking, oh my gosh, Dad's in Papa's seat now, I'm in Dad's. Like that, like a flicker. You young people in here, I was once the young cool dude in the front row. Now I'm the old wise guy speaking. Like that. You know what your problem is? Listen to me. You think everybody else is going to die, not you. You know it's probably going to happen, but you don't really believe it's going to happen. So you're going to get around to winning. You're going to get around to making your dreams come true. You're going to get around to making memories. You're going to get around to giving your best. You're going to get around to getting closer to God. You're going to get around to making those things work. You're going to get around to being happy until you can't get around anymore. This is me and my dad golfing. My favorite thing to do in the world was to sit in a golf cart with my dad for 5 hours and be with my best friend. He knew everything about me. I knew everything about him. We didn't agree on a whole lot either. That day, my dad, who has the exact voice I have, a deep voice, that day went, thumbs up. I'm like, well, you need to go to a doctor Monday, man. He did. Tuesday, he had a 12-hour surgery to remove a tumor the size of a football that had been growing in him for 8 years that he didn't know about. He was diagnosed with liposarcoma, very rare cancer. And when he got the cancer, I'll never forget, my dad said, hey, listen, I'll fight this thing once. I'm not shriveling up. I'm not getting all wrinkled, not losing my hair. I'll fight this once. If it doesn't happen, that's it, I'm out. That's not what happened. My dad had surgery, chemo, radiation, proton therapy, chemo, surgery, experimental chemo, over 8 years. And I would say, Dad, why are you putting yourself through this horrible suffering? My dad said, Eddie, I'm not suffering. I am in pain, but I'm not suffering. Suffering's something we choose. He said, Eddie, remember this, please, so you don't have to get sick. You will only understand the power and the blessing of having one more day until you're threatened with never having one again. I'll do anything to have another day with your mama. I'll go to another chemo, another surgery, more pain to be with your mama. To me, to get to spend another day with you, we could no longer golf again. So I taught my dad all these visualizations of how to visualize he and I playing golf that I teach in my books. He said, for me to get to my granddaughter's wedding, to go see my grandson Jacob play another football game, I'll do anything for one more of those. They're so precious. That's my dad about 3 years into chemo. He wore his golf shirt and his glasses every day. He couldn't play. And he started to shrink and shrivel, and he lost his hair. And every time I would see my dad, I would know I'm losing my best friend, my father, my hero. I'm losing him. If your parents are still alive, even though that may not be happening, listen to me. You're losing them. I had the blessing of God showing me it physically. Your children are losing you. The world will lose you. This is a year later. I don't give this talk a lot anymore, and I don't like giving it because I don't like this picture. He's still wearing it. But I knew I was losing him. Thank God I knew, because I sure appreciated him more. I sure listened a little closer. I sure picked up the phone when he called and didn't put him to voicemail. I sure figured out what really mattered, which is not a jet. In fact, my jet was parked a mile from my dad's house. He could walk to it. You know how many times my dad ever flew on my jet? 0 in his life. I said, Dad, let's jump on the jet and go to Maui and play golf. He goes, why would I go all the way there? I can be with my son in Chino. We can play. My dad was unimpressed with my wealth, my houses, never told anybody about it. It was always in the golf cart. You helping people? You being good to Christiana? You making sure you're getting time with the kiddos? You calling your sisters? What kind of a man are you? What kind of money do you have? What kind of a man are you? Okay? This is my dad in the hospital. I got 4 minutes left. This is my dad in the hospital during COVID. First, take note of what he's wearing. My father would get up every day and shave and put his golf outfit on and visualize us playing golf. I would sit in the parking lot of Pomona Valley Hospital every day with my dad up because I couldn't go see him. I couldn't hug him, I couldn't touch him, and he was a couple hundred feet away. We would talk every day. This day, my dad called and said, hey. Sometimes my dad would breathe 5 times a minute, sometimes 25. Hey, what you doing? I said, I'm downstairs, just working on the podcast, some other stuff. I'm good, writing this chapter for the book. Okay. I said, how are you doing? He goes, I'm good. Okay, kiddo, okay. We just played Pebble Beach. I said, we did? He goes, yeah. I said, how'd you play? He goes, lights out. I just played awesome. Shot 67. I finally birdied 18. It's awesome. I said, how'd I play? He goes, oh, like shit. I go, I gotta go. He goes, all right, I gotta get some lunch. 2 hours later, the phone rang. Hello? Hey. I go, what's going on? Yeah, I wasn't honest earlier. I said, what's up? I'm not doing so good. I said, okay. He goes, I want to go home. I go, Dad, you can't go home. You know that. No, take me home. I want to go home with Mom. I want to see you and your sisters tonight. I go, Dad, stop it. We're going to get you another steroid shot. You're crazy. He goes, listen to me. It's the power of one more. He goes, listen to me. I have one more day. What? Eddie, I have one more day. Please let me go home. My stomach sank. I said, I'm going to call the doctor. I called the doctor. I said, hey, he's talking crazy. He goes, I'd go get him, Ed. I'd send an ambulance. Take him home. I said, what? He goes, Eddie, they know. I said, who's they? He said, someone who's going to die. They know. This is 4 hours later. That's my dad coming home one more time. Walking through that front door one more time. In an ambulance. By the way, you're going to come home one more time someday. Your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad, you will someday come through that front door one more time. Who do you want to be when you come through that door? What do you want to accomplish, seen, felt, experienced, tried, done, contributed? Who do you want to be in that one more day? It's coming for you at some point. That's my mom right there. His high school sweetheart, his wife of 50 years, watching her husband come through the door one more time. The staircase to her right that you can see there is the staircase I would send her up when I sat at that front door as a little boy. That's the same front door of a man I was terrified of would come through. A totally different man came through that door 35 years later. You can come home a different person someday. You can totally change your life. I'm in this space, I'm giving this speech, I write my books, I do my show because I know human beings can change because I watched my father do it. Right left of that paramedic is the liquor cabinet that I used to try to get him to avoid through the hallway. Totally different man came home. Who do you want to be? This is my father with one more hour left. And I'm holding his hand. He's still wearing the same clothes. My father refused to take morphine for the excruciating pain because it would violate his sobriety. About 20 minutes after this, I'm holding his hand. My dad goes, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe God gave you to me as my only son. I love you. And he closed his eyes. I've never said this, but I feel family here, so I'm going to tell you something. I got into the bed with my dad. And I held my dad like he held me when I was a little boy. One of the most beautiful moments of my life. Got to hold my dad. This man I was terrified of. And it made me think, who do I want to be in this moment when my children are gathered around me? What do I want them to know about me? Who I became, what I did, who their dad was. Who's Christiana going to think her husband was? My sisters. Who do I want to be when I've got one more hour left? And about 20 minutes later, he took one more breath. And he was gone. And his temporary pain was over. And I was a different version of me because of his pain. See, the other thing that's going to happen is if you'll survive the temporary pain is it will change the people around you for the better. And my dad did that. Who do you want to be in those moments? Who do you want to have become? What do you want to have felt? Because here's how I feel about my dad. You know where my dad is? By the way, I should show you this really quick and then I got to go. I found hundreds of these on my dad's bureau. You know what these are? These are all the people my dad helped get sober, their sobriety birthdays. That's just August right there. My dad paid it forward. Thousands of other people. See, my dad helped thousands of other people. I never knew it get sober. Prisoners, you name it. At his funeral, prisoners spoke, people from every background. Ed Mylett changed my life. First time I've ever heard Ed Mylett change my life, and it was my dad. He paid all those people back. See, my dad's in heaven. See, I have this really interesting feeling. I'm going to share this with you last. All I want to do is go to heaven. Now, as a Christian man, that means I want the Lord to say, well done, good and faithful servant. Get your butt in here. But I actually have a hallucination. I want to leave you with this thought. Who do you want to be in those moments, and what do you want your life to have amounted to? And by the way, I promised you in the beginning this would be a life-altering, transformative hour. I'm hoping that's been accomplished at least a little bit. You're a little different, a little thinking different, maybe shifted a little bit. Is that the truth? Give me some love at least so I feel good. All right, good. Now, it's all right. You don't got to stand. No, you don't got to stand. You don't got to stand. So, when I get there, I think you get introduced to the woman or the man you were born to be. I think God goes, hey, let me show you the image and likeness I made you in. And when I get there, I'm going to go, hey, man, I've been chasing you all my life. I've been after you. And he's going to go, I've been watching, dude. I thought that one chapter you were toast. That other mistake you made, that thing nobody knows about, I know. All the falling down, all of it. But you kept getting up. You kept getting up. You kept getting up and coming at me, man, and you did it. You maxed out your life. You got all the juice. You rode the roller coaster, dude. You didn't take the merry-go-round. My God, what moments, what memories, what experiences, the people's lives you changed. Well done. We're identical twins. To me, that's heaven. Hell looks a lot different. Hell is you get there and you're complete strangers of who you could have been, what you could have seen, what you could have felt, what you could have experienced, what you could have contributed, and you didn't do it all. Yeah, I was chasing you, and then the market changed. Someone quit on my team. This deal, I needed it, and it didn't. The one thing didn't come through, and that guy said he was going to do this with me, and then he's in the witness protection program. I can't find him. You go, yeah, I was watching. You got up the one time. You got up again. And then you just kind of laid down. You got on that merry-go-round again, like everybody told you should, to be realistic. You'll learn. You'll learn. Problem is, you don't get another one of these. That was your only one. There's no power of one more life. There's only everlasting life. You don't get another one of these. What happened? And if you're honest, your answer would be, I was scared. I was scared. I lived my life afraid. Afraid of what I might not be good enough. Afraid I wasn't enough. afraid of what people would think and say about me, afraid of making a mistake, afraid of offending people. Heck, I might have even been afraid of succeeding, but I lived my life afraid. That's hell. My hope for you is that after this hour, you firmly and completely decide in every way possible that you're going to go to heaven and that you deserve to be there. And I want to remind you of what I told you in the beginning. You were born to do something incredible with your life, and the final chapters have not been written. You and God are the authors, and you could decide today to grab the pen of your life and just decide, just shift. I'm going to start writing some new chapters. I'm going to start walking, talking, thinking just a little bit different. The world's going to see a little bit different version of me because this pain I'm going through, I'm going to get another version of me out of it. I'm going to get something for my pain, and I'm going to go to heaven. All right, God bless you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your conference. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.